Exactly. He doesn't improve practice.
Yeah, I think the Traverse is a special one, and mainly because I was training quite hard for Otter. It was one of the runs I really wanted to do, and I got injured. And I think my coach James, he said, "Look, it's not the end of the world. Let's just get you right. Let's focus." And that was the time I spent finding a challenge that I could do on a hiking platform.
We're going to go up to Monte Sources, which is that one.
Well, I think the biggest difference is the Drakensbergs are wild, and whereas a lot of other other disciplines or events, you kind of either looking at your watch to a degree, whether it's distance or your pace or something like that. In the Drakensberg, it was more like we were getting from A to B, and we weren't really, whatever is laying ahead of you in the day, you just knew you were going to be kind of walking, grinding it out for 10 hours.
I've run a bunch of marathons and trail marathons and ultras, which have been incredibly tough in their own right, but this was different.
There were no free Ks. It wasn't like in a run where you get a bit of a downhill and off you go, or you can take a bit of a breather at the aid stations. It was like, no, your aid's on your back, and like your free Ks are yesterday's.
The day where we summited Mufadi and then hit Giant's Castle and made it up to the top of Giant's Castle in time to see sunset. That to me was probably one of the biggest moments. I think it was also a moment where I realized that our goal was achievable.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that little peak is Giant's Castle.
Very special moment. I think the reason for that is I'll never forget the sun was starting to go down and Giant's Castle was a good couple of k's away, and I still said to Mike, there's no ways we're reaching the summit. And he just looked at me and he said, you're going to reach the summit. And I was in pain, and we just missioned, and we got up there well before sunset, and it was incredible. The views up there are just mind-blowing, very emotional.
Right, here we are at the top of Giant's Castle.
Nice little scramble, last 30 meters. Fucking best summit of the day, of the week.
That was pretty darn special. Sun setting in the background. It's about 5:30 in the evening. It is absolutely beautiful up here. Shed a little tear. It is flippin' magnificent. What a view, what a climb.
Just a quick one word from everybody.
Love you guys, I'm still alive.
But it doesn't have to go home. It can just be anything that's on your mind.
The only easy day was yesterday.
Mac, today was the hardest day ever for me. And thanks to all you guys for getting me through.
Quick word, sure. I mean, does it get much better than this?
Hello.
In a cave.
Here we go.
On a cliff.
My own cave.
On camera.
Yeah, just a quick one.
Well done to everyone.
Oh.
A long day.
There's a leader.
We had a very tough day too. I think everyone had heavy packs in their first, first like big day. It was a massive day.
On day 2, where it was late in the day, we just summited Dix-Peek, and we had a little bit extra to do to get to Roland's Cave, or we'd nicknamed it Winter's Cave, because when he'd found out about it, he couldn't stop talking about it, and no matter what, we were getting there that night.
Mike was showing us some pictures of this cave, and something just clicked in my mind that we were going to make it to this cave come high water. I had to carry people up there. Day 2, we were sleeping in that cave, and then it just became a running joke. And it didn't disappoint. It was pretty amazing place.
But in order to get into this cave, we had to traverse along this really tiny little ledge with this unbelievable drop off straight into the valley below, of like nothing below you. And then to wake up the next morning with that sunrise in that cave, man, the image there just is burned into my mind. I'll never forget it.
The guys were broken, but myself particularly, that's when I thought that I started questioning myself whether we can actually do this.
The boys in the fucking Rod. What says Rodders?
Johnny.
Fuck.
Rodders, do we get a Rodders roundup tonight?
For me, the anchor point was that cave that night, just looking around. It was like decimation, you know. It was just like, I think that was when it really dawned on everyone, like, guys, we're going to need each other to get through this thing, you know.
The team really rallied around each other, and that's what it was. It was a question of a team, not so much a group of individuals, but a team moving through the mountains at the pace that we could. And I think, you know, that's how we navigated the lows which we all experienced.
The group was selected purely on the basis that we were trail running together, some of us weren't. But the group itself was amazing. I mean, anyone who had a down day, we rallied together. The guys helped them, no one complained. The camaraderie was incredible. And I think that it boils down to the amazing guide we had. Mike Beast Owen, as we call him, phenomenal.
They wanted to get to this cave, but there was a sense of giving up early. They were okay. Some people were okay with that, and there was this, you know, for me it was pivotal. And getting to the cave itself was cool, but more importantly, I think that was the moment when we turned the corner in terms of mental sort of commitment to what we were doing, and that we were going to finish this thing no matter what. And really, you saw it in the very next night when we had an even longer day, actually, a tough day. And when I called the stop short of our target, I was not popular for that decision. And that for me, you know, I went to bed with a smile on my face that night, knowing that, like, okay, these guys have got it.
He was relieved, and his stress was over when they stopped early on the third day. That was kind of my lowest point in terms of worrying about the team, because it's now the first time they haven't got to the place that they planned to get for the day, and seeing that now they haven't made it, but the next day they've made it, and the next day they're even doing way better than they expected to. From then I was just really excited to hear what they were going to say at the end, rather than stressing about where I'm going to have to rescue who.
I've got the most respect for Rodney making it through that Grand Traverse. He showed immense character with the blisters that he got on day 2.
He had 2 things on the line then. One was obviously the fastest ever DGT for a man over 50. And the second was the formation of the world's biggest blister.
And I think after a good chat with Mike, Rodney managed to somehow bite the bullet and get through it. And yeah, I think in terms of showing character, he was the one.
What Rodney showed me is that you're never too old to dream a new dream and to think big, and to go after something that you really want. And that is, I think, a lesson to everyone out there. Doesn't matter, you know, age is just a number. And him to get that done was also bloody special. Yeah, mad respect.
No, look, I mean, everyone had their moment at various times. I mean, the person that springs to mind immediately is Jean.
He came in, I think, with absolutely no training. And I think his plan was to build his fitness through the hike. And unbelievably, he managed to do that. Every day he got stronger.
But there wasn't really a point, even when he was enduring immense pain, that he let the spirits drop. Or he let his lip drop. I mean, he really was, you know, just his humor, his, just the lightness of his demeanor at all points in time was just incredible to see. So yeah, he really was a standout performer and kept the spirits high.
No matter what, you'd always check in, and he'd always have a smile. Like, always be like, no, I'm good, and you know, and he'd always have a quick joke or something to turn the situation around for him and for you. And that was really special. And I took some good lessons from that.
He went into that week saying poles are unnecessary, and I think it took him about 2 hours to steal Mike's poles, and Mike didn't see them again for the week.
Right, here we are. That little beacon represents the highest point in South Africa, and we are coming up on it. Marky just behind me there, finishing, well, our first summit of the morning on day 4. Here it is, Mufadi, the highest point in South Africa. Woo! Woo! We're ready to go.
It's a strange feeling, chaps, being the last morning of an incredible adventure, and I can only have a huge amount of gratitude for the experience we've had. I think this team has rallied together strongly, and I think the amount of camaraderie and the friendships that have been formed in a short space of time has been incredible. The vibe has been extraordinary, and it's special. You can't take that for granted. Add another human being to the mix, and it's a different vibe. So it's been a special group, and a lot to be thankful for. But if we recon the last day, the penultimate day, it was a day where I think the energy ebbed and flowed with the terrain. There was a lot of chit chat to start off with, a couple of climbs. Jean was, as usual, right up there with all the jokes and keeping the spirits high. Rhino had a couple of great stories. Once again, keeping the spirits high. He's had virtually a flawless Drakensberg Grand Traverse. He's been virtually militant in his approach. Woken up first, been to bed first. Has hardly put a foot wrong. Didn't get a blister. No blisters. That's unreal. But he was caught with his pants down yesterday after not realizing he needed to tie up or tighten up his shoulder straps. He can't be perfect. But no, he's had a ripper. King of the Mountains was also an extraordinary experience yesterday. Oaks were dicking around for the first couple of days. And then came along Michael Owen. And on Wilson's climb, he had Mark Winter trailing behind him, and he put down the hammer as if to say, Oaks, I'm the boss, stand back around. And if that wasn't enough, he went back down, picked up a bag, and then he went back down and picked up another bag. But I think it was just a question of overriding a previous bad experience on Wilson's climb. But we're going to be singing Mikey Owen tomorrow night. But yeah, that was an absolute ripper. Shout out to John for grinding through a hell of a day. There was some pain in the eyes, but well done. Well done. Rodders were still grinding through those blisters. But what can we say, chaps? It's been incredible. We haven't seen a cloud in the sky in 5 or 6 days. Let's enjoy the last 7.5% of our journey. And enjoy it.
That's it. Yes. Let's do it, boys. Woo!
Life's a lot about who you surround yourself with. And when I think about the quality of the team, Mike and his leadership skills and his knowledge of the mountains and his abilities, I don't think there's anyone in this country that you'd want to be in the mountains with, to lead you and guide you. I mean, he was absolutely brilliant. Rodders, he just really is an exceptional human being, a yes man, default positive. Those are the sort of people you want to surround yourself with. Deep thinkers. Rhino, an incredibly knowledgeable and deep thinking individual. Mark Winter, yes, he is a strong individual. He really is an exceptionally physically and intellectually strong human being. Jean, I mean, larger than life. I mean, he just is an exceptionally humorous and spirited individual. Also super intelligent and a pleasure to be around. Dwacky, I mean, a phenomenal human being. And then, of course, John. You know, he also took big hits on the trip, but he dug deep and he got through his trials. And you know, we get to choose at the end of the day who we spend our time around in life. And the individuals on this trip are the type of people that you want to spend time with. You know, I really appreciate and proud to be associated with the guys that got involved in this trip. I really am.
We bonded really well. You know, a handful of the guys knew each other, and some of us we'd met, you know, once or twice beforehand, but didn't actually know each other incredibly well. We got on so well as a group, and I think that contributed to us achieving getting this traverse done in the way in which we did it at the end, which was absolutely incredible.
For such a tough kind of challenge, if you want to call it that, for everybody to get on so well and become such like a close-knit group over those 7 days is pretty special. A lot of people went through to their dark places, and to keep their sense of humor in check was pretty amazing.
I learned a lot from these guys about the value of friends and good people in your life, and that was something. I mean, I'm pretty selfish in my day-to-day being, and I'm quite okay on my own, and most of our adventures and stuff that we do, they focused on just us. And doing this with this group of people, it sort of opened my eyes to a new way of experiencing these things, and how much more value that adds in a lot of ways. So to these guys, thank you so much for that, and for being such a great crew, and for showing me a different way of interacting with people. I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's also just a thank you for also committing to this challenge and putting their trust in us to get them through that. It's quite a different thing to just go and do something on your own, and to put together something and plan something for a group of people that put their trust in you. And that whole experience taught me a lot as well.
I think I had a fair amount of time to sit and reflect on where I was in my stage of life at the moment, and how things are going, and how lucky I was to have such a great family and to have such great friends, and these type of opportunities to be able to jump on board with a great adventure like that. So I think definitely a lesson learned in appreciating what I've got and what I can get involved in.
I just wanted to say thank you to the guys for a truly memorable trip, and yeah, I can't wait till the next one. Our riders will think up something, eh? I'm in, that's for sure.
I'm John Faure.
My name's Mark Winter.
My name's Dix-Peek.
I'm Rodney Long.
I'm Mike Owen.
I'm Jean Theron.
I'm Grant Delamere.
I'm Robyn Owen.
I'm Macsymon, and I completed the Drakensberg Grand Traverse.